Hey, what's up guys? Theo here, and in this video I'm going to be explaining function composition, and this is a very crucial part of functional programming so that we can compose smaller functions, or rather aggregate smaller functions into, or sorry, we can take bigger functions, right, or separate functions and um, combine them together into a smaller function. And a good example of this is a function that we can create called compose. And at its root, compose is a function which takes in two functions. So we could just say a and b. And what it does is it returns to us another function that accepts a value, right? And we'll just say v for value. And what it will do is it will run a the function a, it'll invoke the function a with the invocation of b with v, right? So to break this, to change this out a little bit, we can change v to value, b to func2, a to func1, and really the order doesn't matter because it's going to be associative. It's just an algebraic term basically saying that a times b is equal to c is the same as b times a is equal to c, right? Cool. So with that said, what we can do here is we can create two methods, and we're going to create one called multiply, and this is just going to take an x, and it's going to return x times x, and we're going to create another method called triple, and or maybe we'll just change this to double, make it more succinct. And this is a function x, and it's going to return x times x times x, right? And or sorry, not I don't know what I was thinking. Not exponents. We're gonna do x times 2, right? So, or you could do x times x, either one. Cool. So with that, we have double and triple, and what we can do is we can say composition, right, or composed, and we can set that equal to compose with double and triple. And what we have here, if we log out what composed is, again, we have what's called partial application here. So now we returned this function, which when invoked with our value is going to invoke function 1 with function 2. So actually, because of our order of operations, function 2 is going to be invoked with the value, and the result of that is going to be passed to function 1, and then it's going to return that. So let's look at what will happen now if we say console log composed, and we're going to pass in 2, right? So now we're getting 12 at this point, and why is that? Well, because function 2 of 2 is going to give us 4, and then we're going to invoke function 1 on 4, and that's going to be 2. Again, we could change this out to func1 and func2. We're getting the same thing, right? Associative property. So everything's good to go. And that is function composition in a nutshell. Hopefully it made sense to you, and the reason again for this is so that we can build out many of these functions, right? And maybe we have one more called var, quadruple, and this is a function x to return x times 4, right? So it's just gonna multiply by 4, and then we can have it accept a third argument there, func3, and so now we can return func3 of func2 of func1 with the value, and I think we're missing an argument there. Func3 is not an argument, so we can do double, triple, and quadruple, and we're getting the same thing, right? So we have this idea of all of our functions are working together in the same way, 2, 1, and 3, and we're always going to get the same thing because of the associative property. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.